Hello, everyone. My name is Alain Carasana. I am a student at the University of South Florida, majoring in finance. Today, we're going to be analyzing some data for our Tableau 2 project. Let's get to it. Here we have the data. We have different fields here, such as the country, region, state, zip code, city, sales date, department, item, profit, and units sold. The first thing that I did with this data was sorting some of these fields out, and in order to have a better idea of this data that was given to me. Here on the first worksheet, I am showing the units sold per items for all the regions for years 2019 and 2020. When you look at the worksheet, you can see the performance of each of these products for these 2 years. So, for example, here we look at the West, the product Blackfin here. We had about 220,000 units sold in 2019. And when we go to 2020, it was a decrease in sales. We were down to 47,000 sold units in 2020. So that was rough for the West there on the Blackfin product. On the next page here, we have the units sold in the East. So on this chart, I'm looking at the units sold for different departments for the years 2019 and 2020. So you can see in the chart how the departments performed in these 2 years. For example, here on the kayaks, we had a great year in 2019 of selling 246,000. But then in 2020, it had a huge jump to selling 693,000 units in 2020, being really good for the East right there, the kayaks. On the next page, this chart, it's a profits per item. So it's a simple chart here that I did. By looking at this chart, you can see all these individual items that I picked and their profits. You can also look at the bars and see which items are more profitable and which ones are less profitable. So the reason for this format is to make things simple and easy to understand. So for example, here we can see that the top three items were the cruiser, netting about $118 million in profit. Then second was Blackfin, 112 million. Then the Ascend 12T with about 87 million. So easy to understand and simple. Very cool chart here. So on the next page is the map. So here on the map, you can see here different shades of green that I chose, where the lighter green represents the states with lower profits compared to the darker green states that show the most profit. So by using this map, I was able to learn that California was the most profitable state in the entire country here. So you can see how dark the green is, and California made about $96 million in profit here. And the next would be dashboard. So on this dashboard, I included the profits per state here in the map, and then the profits per item. So I wanted to show this because I wanted to see what products were the top performance in each of the states. So if we click here, let's say California, or let's see, California. Okay, California here. It shows the individual items and their profits on that specific state. This is really cool here. So let's go to Florida. Here we can see the cruiser was one of the top performers, where the Boston tender was not that good. Let's try a different state, Montana. Here we can see the cruiser again. We saw that on the last slide, which was the top item here in the entire United States. So We see, okay, the Ascend 12T here in Nevada was the most popular one. So I like the way you can see the map and the chart together. It makes it easy to work with and understand what's happening here. So really great analytics here. So here we have my story. I decided to go with the units sold per item by regions for years 2019 and 2020. Here we can take a look at the regions, the individual items, and if we look here in the East, the Model SN12T in 2019, it had about 111,000 units sold. And if we go to 2020, we can see a great jump up to 441,000 units sold for year 2020. Next, we have the units per department for the years 2019 and 2020. So I decided to narrow it down by adding filters and focusing on the units sold per department in the East. I found that canoes had a bad year in 2020. So 2019 they had 96,000 units sold, and in 2020 it dropped down to 32,000. Really bad year for canoes on the East. Then we have the kayaks here having a decent year in 2019, 246,000 units sold. Going to 2020, huge jump, going up to 693,000 units sold. So then we have the paddle boards selling 456,000 units in 2019, and they had a decrease in sales in 2020, down to around 236,000. So for the next, we have again this simple graph showing the items and their profits. I wanted to see which one was the most profitable, and we can clearly see that here Cruiser netted about 118 million dollars in profits here, and this was for the entire country. And we can see here the map, the map of the profits per states. We can see that California had approximately $96.9 million in profit. So the reason I chose a map was to be able to see which state was the most profitable one. And then we have the map of profits and the chart of profits per individual item. So this is basically the dashboard, and it shows that the profit per item, if you click here on a state, so for example, let's go to California, being the top profitable state in the country, we can see profits per item here. We can see the top items that contributed to California being the best performer. Here we can see the Blackfin having about $18 million in profit, and then the Cruiser with $17 million in profit. So that's all for this. And I like to say that my recommendation is to create a good marketing campaign and try to sell more canoes in the eastern region there. Try to improve sales for the next year. They had a really rough year in 2020, so they have to create a good strategy and a good marketing campaign to increase those sales. And that's about it. I have learned a lot about Tableu during this project. This is a great platform because you can not only learn many things, but it can also help you improve and sharpen your skills. And the skills that I think that Tableu helped me the most with was my analytical skills. It's a great tool. I also learned that Tableu could be very helpful for businesses because you can take in a lot of data and narrow it down to a specific area and find solutions for the problems you can have. So it's been a great experience, and being a finance major, I think that in the future I could be using Tableau. So I'm glad I really have experience with this software. And thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.